Hey everybody, it's Doug here, just getting back with another episode, our third episode of Mansions of Madness, where we're going to be continuing our game. So let's press continue. We're going to resume our save game, absolutely. We were playing Preston Fairmont, Jenny Barnes, and Kate Winthrop. We're at the house of Mr. Carvey, who thinks that one of his friends' guests are attempting to murder him. And so we're trying to uncover who that is get as much information before the dinner party actually starts. And now I did get a note in the last Mythos phase that we're coming up soon on the dinner party, and I'm running out of time to get information from these people. So we got to continue on with that, see what we can gather. Let's continue with the scenario. Now I'm trying to remember the name of the scenario. Maybe it says in the little thing on this particular segment. I'm not sure. Beyond the Threshold, I don't know. Yeah, I don't remember what the actual name of this scenario is, but it's something about a dinner party. So let's maybe I'll say at the beginning of this. I don't know. Anyway, here we are. We got a lot going on. We have made all these great discoveries. I think the first person I'm going to go with right now is going to be Preston Fairmont. He's going to start our adventures off because he's going to talk to some people and explore some things. Let's check it out. So here's Preston. He is in the kitchen, and he's going to talk to this young lady here. I'm trying to remember her name. I'll remember her name in a moment because I'm going to look at the app. Her name is Elizabeth Fairview, and she is also one of the guests of Carvey, and I remember that there was some falling out between them. I should really try to remember more about them, but between episodes I start forgetting what this is, parts of the story. Anyway, we're going to talk to her. We're going to go back to the app and see what she has to say. Okay, here we are back at the app. We're going to talk to Elizabeth Fairview. She's looking over a recipe handwritten on a neat sheet of paper. We're going to greet her. She turns to you with a smile. "Excuse me, I was just looking over one of tonight's dishes. Gourmet cooking is a hobby of mine. It's how my late husband and I first met. In fact," she extends her hand, "Elizabeth Fairview, charmed." We're going to kiss her hand because we're a suave and debonair Preston Fairmont. Elizabeth's smile widens. "Oh, I like you. Can you tell me about yourself? How do you know Carvey?" Let's start with how do you know Carvey? "Tom? Well, he and my husband were very close. When I was married, I inherited the friendship. Tom has always been dear to me. These dinner parties, as Tom calls them, they all start with my late husband. As he calls them, I'm going to say, I could apologize for her loss, but I'm going to say as he calls them." "Yes," Elizabeth stops, thinking better of something. "Oh, dear, unless I'm spoiling Tom's after-supper surprise. Well, I will say no more about that, then. Gain one clue." So we're going to gain yet another clue. Man, why is this game stockpiling clues on me? What is about to happen? It's crazy. So we're going to continue. That was his first action. So I think for his second action, we're going to talk to the cook as his next action. Let's see what the cook has to say right there. The cook busies herself with something at the stove. What happened to the foyer? That's a good question because we know that the furniture had been knocked over and there was stuff in the foyer. Let's ask her. She lets out a laugh. "The foyer? Dear, I have been in the kitchen since 8 this morning preparing the roast for tonight." The cook lowers her voice and smiles. "It is a particular favorite of Bruce Darcy's. I think Mr. Carvey is trying to make up after some disagreement. Would not be the first time, let me tell you. Gain one clue." Well, we get another clue. So all of them are really stocking up the clues. That's good. We're going to probably need them, I'm sure. But let's continue. Okay, that is his two actions. He's just stood there and talked to some folks. So, which is what we need to do. We need to get to know these people at dinner party. Let's move on then to Jenny Barnes. So here is Jenny. She was going to check out this thing over the nightstand there. I'm just going to show you that. This is her. Good old Jenny Barnes. Always checking stuff out. She's a very curious young lady. And here we are. So we're going to check this out right here and see what that has to say. It says an assortment of picture frames has been arranged on a side table. Well, let's search that for our first action. In one picture, a man who looks like he might be Bruce's father introduces an angry-looking Bruce to Carvey. Okay. One picture is of Elizabeth laughing. A handsome man stands by her side, his arm around Carvey as the two of them discuss something intently. Well, that would be Elizabeth's late husband, apparently. And then in another picture, Jean holds up a certificate of authenticity while Thomas Carvey waves a strange book at the camera. That must be the book under the glass there that everybody's interested in. One of the pictures is Leland and Carvey sitting together at some sort of black tie event, both smiling politely towards the photographer. These photos can be used to connect Carvey to each of his potential suspects. As you look at them, you notice a string of strange letters written in chalk. Perhaps Carvey will know more about these markings. Discard the search token and gain the photographic evidence unique item and 2 clues. Wow, 2 clues. Investigators may interact with the photographic evidence unique item in the app to review the gathered evidence. Okay, let's go gather that. So good old intuitive Jenny has gathered the photographic evidence. It just says evidence. Proof can be seen clear as day. Okay, so Jenny says stockpiling up, that's her second item. She's not stockpiling up anything, but that is her second item. Let's continue. And I forgot, I got to give her 2 clues. So she's up to, like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 clues. We've got to start using some of these, but we haven't had a reason to as of yet. So that was her first action. So let me see, for her second action, she can interact with this evidence. I think she's going to do that. Well, no, you know what? She's going to head back to talk to Carvey about it because I think that's going to be more valuable right now. Let's go back to the board. She can move 2, so this is gone, by the way. Get rid of that. So she's going to go 1 to there and 2 out to the space with Carvey, but she can't talk to him yet because she is not her turn. That's the end of her turn. That was both of her actions. Now we're going to go on to Kate Winthrop, which is going to be the last character for this turn. She was out in the conservatory looking around. Here's Kate out in the conservatory. Now, there was all these tools there. She's definitely going to check those out first before moving out into the grounds at all. Okay, let's see what we see. A pile of gardening tools has been left abandoned. Let's search those tools. Hopefully we'll get some kind of weapon. Digging through the tools, you find most of them to be rusted and useless. However, just as you're ready to give up, you notice one thing still in working order. Gain the Elder Sign Pendant common item. Why would he have an Elder Sign Pendant sitting in a bunch of discarded, rusted garden tools? Anyway, that's okay. Then discard the search token. So we're going to do that right now. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this token and we're going to take a look at the Elder Sign Pendant. What does it do? What does it do? Roll 1 additional die while evading a monster. Well, you know, Kate, that is okay because you can send monsters away with your flux stabilizer and then dodge them if you can't, and you got a spell to attack them with, and you get extra additional puzzle steps when you're using your pocket watch. So you're just cool. You're just way cool. But that was her first action. Her second action is going to be to investigate this door right here. So let's go do that. The haunting music of the app, it's telling us something spooky is happening. Okay, let's check it out. A glass door leads out into the conservatory yard, or Carvey's yard. Let's explore that and see what it says. This is our action. Ooh, there's a dog. I heard the dog bark. That's cool. As you turn the handle to the door, a large dark dog comes shooting out from the darkness, barking wildly. Place a person token as indicated. As you persist on opening the door, the barks subside into a throaty growl that causes you to step away from the door. Clearly, Carvey does not allow his guests into the yard, and you cannot fault the dog for doing his job. Alright, I think we're going to leave the dog alone. The dog is at the door with Kate, and that was her second action. She found the dog, so then we're going to go on to the Mythos phase. See what happens. I think dinner is going to happen pretty soon as we wander around. Okay, let's continue. Crazy dog. Wait, there's something else. As you turn from the door, you spot something of use. Gain the magnifying glass common item. Oh wow, so even though the dog came barking at us, we turned away and we found an item. So I'm going to get out the magnifying glass. It might take me a second to find. Hold on. Wow, here we go, another item. Equipment. Roll 1 additional die when resolving a an observation test. Well, that is amazing because she already has an observation of 5. That gives her a 6. Yeah, she's stockpiled quite a bit of stuff. That is really awesome. Okay, let's continue to see if there's anything more from this. Nope. Okay, that's it. So we haven't gone through that door yet because we're afraid of the dog. And that is going to end our turn. So we did get another item out of that is good, a useful item for her. Let's continue on to the Mythos phase. We're going to end the investigator's phase. All 3 of them have gone. What bad is going to happen to us now? The walls of the room seem to close in. This Mythos affects the investigator within range of the fewest spaces. Within range of the fewest. This Mythos event affects the investigator within range of the fewest spaces. That I would guess would be actually Kate, because she, well, no, it would be, so there's 2 people in the two space area. I'm going to say that since there's 2 people and actually Kate is in an area with 4. See, Kate is up in this space. There's lots of spaces there. But the other ones are in rooms with 2 spaces. Well, actually, it's going to be Preston because Jenny is in a hallway that actually has 4. So we're going to say it's Preston. You are forced to crouch and shuffle. Suffer 1 horror will to negate, then become stunned. Ooh, that's not good. Okay, well, let us do the horror check, see if we can pass it. We're going to become stunned anyway. I guess we're just going to negate having the horror element or portion of it if we succeed. So his will is a 3. So we got 3, but we got lots. We got 4 clues dispensed, so let's roll the dice. Oh my gosh, he got 0 successes. So he will suffer 1 face down horror hit. So I haven't shuffled the horror deck. Let me do that real quick. Better shuffle it up. And then we're going to give him 1 face down horror. That is bad, Preston Fairmont. Wow. Okay. Okay, 1 face down horror right here. Now we're not going to turn it up. That's not how this works. We don't know what it is. It goes right there. And then we're going to have to get the stunned condition. Let me find that. Okay, here's a stun condition. You cannot perform more than a single action during your turn. At the end of your turn, discard this card. Well, that was his first. That was the Mythos phase. So he's going to have only 1 action this turn. That kind of bites. So, but it is what it is, and that is. We're going to continue from there. So he gained a horror hit. At any moment now, the dinner bell will summon you to dinner. So we're going to have maybe 1 more round with the investigators to talk to people before we get to do that. So let's start with Jenny Barnes. She is still going to talk further with Carvey before dinner. And I don't feel like we have enough information, but we got Carvey and his butler here. We're going to talk to him. She's standing with him. Let's see what we can get out of the guy. We did gain a lot of information, ancillary information, but a lot of it got stopped because they won't say anything without him. So let's see how this goes. Thomas Carvey checks his watch impatiently. There are strange chalk marks on your pictures. Carvey looks around, then runs a hand through his hair. Look, this sounds absurd, but last week I woke up fully dressed, my hands covered in chalk. I do not know what those markings mean, but I truly do not believe I'm the one that made them. Then who did? Perhaps one of the others, hoping to make me look insane before they did the deed. Or perhaps, he trails off and looks away from you, then clears his throat, perhaps the stress of potentially being killed has caused me to begin sleepwalking. Now, shouldn't you speak with the other guests? Gain 1 clue. Well, here we are with the clue magnet, Jenny Barnes. You know, her special ability has been totally useless in this, which is gain 1 clue and just gain 2 clues and discard a horror thing if you don't have any clues. She's got so many clues now, it's ridiculous. Okay, that was her first action. For her second action, maybe she'll talk to Senior Butler. She could move, but I think we're about to be called to dinner. Let's see. I'm just going to take a look. You can take a look without doing the action. There is actually something. What is through the unmentioned door? The butler has begun to tidy up the four-way. Yeah, let's ask him. Let's see what he says. Mr. Carvey's office. It is kept locked during dinner parties as it contains documents relevant to his work. You are invited to enjoy the lounge or library while you wait for dinner. Of course. Gain 1 clue. Okay. Well, we wasted her second action, but we did gain yet another, like a 15th clue or whatever. She's the clue magnet. So I have a feeling we're going to end up spending a lot of these clues very, very soon. All right, well, let's move on then. That was Jenny Barnes. I might as well do Preston. He's only going to get one action. He's just going to talk to Elizabeth again, I believe. So let's just go up there. I'm not going to move him. We're going to go up there. We're going to talk to... I wanted to move him in here and get that, but he's not going to do it this turn. Elizabeth twines a necklace through her hands. That is a lovely necklace. You must know about everyone else. Let's talk about the necklace first. Boom. Elizabeth smiles. Thank you. It was a gift from my husband. He kept telling me it was one of a kind, but he had gotten it at a better price from Carvey than from one of his competitors. He was so proud of Tom's business savvy. He was always a great supporter of his friends. My husband. Gain a clue. Okay, well, it looked like the husband admired Carvey and all that good stuff. Preston's got another clue. That was his actually only action because of the stunned portion. So this is the end of his phase. At the end, we get to discard this card. So we're going to discard the stunned card. And he is no longer stunned, but that just took up only one of his actions. Now we're going to go on to Kate Winthrop, who's in the observatory, or conservatory rather, but she's not going to mess with the dog any further. Since it's close to dinner, I want to talk to as many people as I can. So she's going to move 1, 2 for her movement action, and then for her last action, she's going to talk to the guy that's in there. What's his name? His name is Bruce. Yeah. And let's see if he's got anything more to say. Bruce has continued studying the painting. Let's see if she can talk. Nope, she can't do anything with that. She can't take the other item, so she might as well move again, even though I think the dinner party's about to start. Okay, I guess she's going to go 1, 2 into here. She can't talk to anybody, but she's going to go after whatever's in the storage place. I guess they spoke by radio or cell phone back in the 1800s, I don't know. Or early 1900s, I think. Anyway, that's where she's going to end up her turn. That's going to end up all of our characters' turns, unfortunately. It's going to be back to the Mythos phase. Okay, let's go on to the Mythos phase and see what happens. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. The ringing of a bell, which you heard. The ring of a bell calls everyone to the evening's meal. You and the other guests are moving toward the dining room when the lights suddenly go out and the mansion is plunged into darkness. Place darkness in each space of the board. Then each investigator suffers one horror hit. One face-down horror will negates. An investigator in darkness cannot spin clues to convert dice results or perform additional puzzle steps. Well, that sucks because light, that's a big deal for us. We have no light and we have gazillion clues, so now we can't spend them. That's intentional. I'm putting darkness counters. You'll see what those look like. And it says in each of the spaces, right? In each space on the board. That's going to be a lot of darkness counters, guys. But there's a lot in the game, so that's okay. And I dropped one, so I got to get down and pick it up. Man, I worked out real hard yesterday, and I'm sore. Okay, I'm placing out a gazillion darkness counters. I'll do that off camera, then I'll come back and we'll do all the horror tests. Okay, that literally used every darkness counter. All right, so we're going to start some horror tests. We'll start with Kate Winthrop. Her will is 3, and she, remember, can't use any clues because of that problem we have. So we have to. We can negate a 1 face-down horror with 1 success. Let's see if we get them. We did. She got 1 success, so Kate did not suffer the horror check, or the face-down horror card. And now we're going to go on to Jenny Barnes. She also, well, they all have 3 wills, so she succeeded as well. She did not suffer a horror hit. The only one that has a horror hit is Preston Fairmont, so let's see if he can avoid a second one. And, whoa, did he ever avoid a second one? He got 3 successes. And my dice tower is falling apart. Okay, well, anyway, we succeeded at that. Let's continue on. That will be the fuse box. I have been having issues all week. Carvey's voice booms from somewhere in the dark. Just a moment. I'll get it back in working order. Everyone find a chair and sit tight. Though you hear a cacophony of footsteps, your eyes have trouble adjusting to the dark. You lose track of the others in the house. Remove all person tokens from the board. Okay, I will do that. That is not difficult. They're all person tokens, so I assume that's the dog too. Yeah, I'm taking them all off the board. They have all disappeared on us. And I've stacked them to the side. I'm sure they're going to pop back up again when we figure out where they are. Okay, I've done that. Now, things have taken a turn. Oh, I heard that. He got killed, man. You know he did. A few long moments pass in the dark before muffled thumps and bangs come from beneath the floors. Things go briefly quiet. Then a horrific scream pierces the night. With growing concern, you recognize the panicked voice of Thomas Carvey. Each investigator suffers 2 horror hits. Will to negate. Somewhere deeper in the mansion, something has happened to your host. Find the source of the screams and restore the lights to the house to discover the cause of the Carvey's panic. Okay, well, let's do those horror checks. What a clever ploy, right? They give you all those clues and then plunge the house in darkness so you can't use them. So it makes finding the lights even more imperative. Let's see. This will be Kate. She succeeds at 2, so she negated both horror hits. Jenny Barnes succeeded at 1, so she will gain 1 horror hit. Gotta find the horror cards. Here they are. Okay, I'll just cut them. It's face down. She just suffers a hit, so here it is. That is Jenny Barnes. She has 1 now. And then we got, last but not least, we have Preston Fairmont. Let's see if he can not get a horror hit. He blocked both of them. So Jenny got 1, and the other 2 blocked them completely. That is fantastic. My rolls are doing pretty well. And then we're back to the investigator phase, but that is, we're going to leave it in a cliffhanger, guys. That's where we're going to stop this episode. So I know it's not going to be a long episode. I'm doing 2 turns per episode. I think figuring that's okay. Maybe in the next one I'll do a longer one. But this is such a great place to leave it off as a cliffhanger. We heard the horrific screams from somewhere in the house, and Carvey has been obviously slain by somebody. Everybody's disappeared. We don't know where they're at. We've got to find the lights. Yeah, it's going to be fun. The horror begins. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Happy October. Hope you're enjoying this. I'm going to be doing a lot of this over the next week or so, just getting prepped up for Halloween. You're going to see a lot of games being played. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys, and this is the first of several. So take care, and I will talk to you soon.